everything I know I'm about to say in about 1 minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
The suspect or suspects remain at large.
Thanks. You got it.
You're hearing that police have now taped 2 blocks away from the Parliament Hill, with the suspect still on the loose.
This is the only issue. It's not an issue yet, but we're going to need some batteries. And not yet. But the issue is that it's really hard to get to us because everything is blocked off.
Information coming from reporters on social media appears confused. People are being moved away from the area.
I just want to put them
and all this together. Yeah, and I tried emailing you. I thought it went through, but it didn't respond.
There are tactical teams working in the area to locate the suspect, who remains at large.
Running. Huh? Yeah, me, Robin, Scotty, and Katie together. Yeah.
Just to recap, a gunman who shot a Canadian soldier in Ottawa has been chased by the police at present.
Bye.
He was chased into the centre block of Parliament, we're hearing, where 30 shots were fired inside the building, which is on lockdown. We're hearing that members are being evacuated from the building safely. In particular, Prime Minister Stephen Harper has left Parliament Hill, according to security services cited by local media.
Well, I think they evacuated them all.
Obviously, this is a breaking story. There's conflicting reports emerging. We'll be bringing you as much as we can confirmed information as it happens.
Let me just
talking of up to 50 shots being fired on Parliament Hill at both the War Memorial and inside the Parliament building. According to eyewitnesses, they saw a man with a rifle. The Prime Minister himself is safe. He safely left the building. Police are in the process of cordoning off streets leading up to Parliament Hill as the chase for the suspect, who is still at large, continues.
Really hard to get to us because everything is blocked off. So I'm going to tell you where we are right now, basically outside the Metropolitan.
I just want to put them
and all this together. Yeah, and I tried.
The shooting comes 2 days after a man ran down 2 Canadian soldiers with his car, killing one of them near Montreal, before being shot and killed by the police. The Prime Minister said earlier this week that this man was known to security services and had been radicalized, were the words he used.
Okay, bye.
Okay, so
I'll call. Oh shit, are they going to move us again?
Where do you stay?
So we
This is a breaking news story, so we will be bringing you updates as soon as we have them. What we know at present is that a Canadian soldier has been shot at the War Memorial in Ottawa. The Parliament is in lockdown. They're beginning to get some of the people out of that building, including the Prime Minister himself, who safely left the building, according to security services quoted by local media. There are multiple shots that were fired, up to 50, we're hearing from different eyewitnesses. Multiple shots started at the War Memorial itself before moving towards the Parliament building, where people are reporting that they saw a man with a rifle, and around 30 shots were fired in the centre block of the Parliament.
The other line,
I got
I'll
one
come
left.
back.
You better call the office.
Nicole speaking.
For what? Okay. Just so you know, yes, mine this year was pretty fluid. It keeps pushing us back, so if you take it at all, you see me moving, you gotta get off.
Hi, Phil and Nicole.
Okay.
This is the only
She's
issue.
right beside me.
It's not an issue yet, but we're going to need some batteries.
The images you're seeing here are of the police cordoning off some of the areas around Parliament Hill. There are tactical teams on site searching for the shooter, who still is at large.
I'm going to tell you where we are right now, basically outside the Metropolitan.
So obviously the situation is changing from minute to minute, and we'll keep you up to date with all of the updates that we're getting in.
But it didn't, like, Toddy cannot get to.
Just tell me which one it is.
We're stuck. Yeah. There's a guy running.
Yeah, it's okay.
Huh? Yeah, me, Robin, Scotty, and Katie together. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they want her to, she can. Absolutely, we've got a great shot right now. Okay, bye.
Again, there's conflicting reports on how many shots were fired. We're hearing 20, 30, up to 50 shots fired in and around the Parliament buildings in Canada, where one soldier has been shot and was seen by eyewitnesses to be taken away in an ambulance. We're also hearing reports from local TV that more shots are being fired near Parliament in Ottawa as the suspect is still at large.
Well, I think they evacuated them all. The mayor himself is saying that he's shocked and saddened by the attack at the Parliament, where a soldier has been shot. The Parliament is on lockdown, and the police have tactical teams in the area searching for the suspect who remains at large. We're hearing the reports that further shots have been fired. Well, I think they evacuated them all.
We're staying with this breaking news from Canada, where a soldier was shot at the War Memorial. We're hearing reports that up to 50 shots were fired in and around the Parliament buildings, which are now on lockdown next to the War Memorial.
Well, I think they evacuated.
We've yet to hear about the condition of the soldier himself, who was wounded in this firefight. There are tactical teams which have converged on the area. They're cordoning off blocks around Parliament Hill in the search for the suspect who remains at large. Police and security officials are also working to evacuate people to safety from the Parliament. Prime Minister Stephen Harper has left the building safely.
Well, I think they evacuated them all.
If you're just joining us, I'll give you a quick recap of what's been coming out of Canada this afternoon with this breaking news story. A Canadian soldier was shot at the Ottawa War Memorial. The suspect apparently fled towards nearby Parliament buildings, where more shots were fired in the centre block. We're hearing up to 40 shots were fired. Eyewitnesses are reporting a man with a rifle. Parliament is now in lockdown, and the shooter is still at large. You can see the images there. We've had streets cordoned off. There is a massive police presence to ensure that the shooter is found. We've yet to hear about the condition of the soldier who was shot. He was taken to an ambulance where he was given emergency medical attention. We're also hearing reports that more shots are being fired near the Parliament in Ottawa, with the suspect still at large. We're now feeding through some images of what was happening earlier on today when the soldier was shot, taken away in the ambulance. The Prime Minister himself was evacuated in a secure vehicle, is now safely out away from that cordoned off area around Parliament Hill.
Well, I think they evacuated them all.
We can't confirm yet whether all members have been evacuated. We are hearing that people are being evacuated from the building, taken to safety, with the suspect remaining at large, and a police tactical team in the area.
Well, I think they evacuated them all.
So if you're just joining us, we are live in Canada with a breaking news story. A Canadian soldier was shot at the War Memorial in Ottawa. You can see images where the soldier was taken to the ambulance where he received emergency medical care. The shooter was said to have fired multiple shots before going towards the Parliament building nearby. The Parliament was put into lockdown. The Prime Minister himself was evacuated to safety. We're also hearing reports that other members are being taken away to safety as the suspect remains at large. Also hearing that there are reports from eyewitnesses that more shots were fired
Well, I think they evacuated
in the last 10 minutes or so. Reporters in the area are tweeting on social media that they're being pushed back from various areas of the city around the Parliament, where police are cordoning off a safe zone as they try to hunt for the suspect, who remains at large.
Spare iPhone battery and a spare BlackBerry battery. I don't know. Just because all the roads are blocked. So basically, about 10 miles. But to get here, you would normally have to
We're hearing that 2 blocks have been cordoned off outside of Parliament Hill. There may be further ones being cordoned off as the hunt for the suspect in this shooting incident continues. We'll be bringing you updates as soon as we hear anything more on this breaking news story from Canada. I can recap for you what has been reported at present, that a Canadian soldier was shot at the Ottawa War Memorial, very near to the Parliament building, where the suspect apparently fled towards the Parliament before firing more shots. A tactical team then converged on the area. Parliament is on lockdown as the shooter remains at large. We're hearing that members of the Parliament are being evacuated. The Prime Minister himself, the security services have said, has been safely evacuated from the building.
and can I find that? Hi, so I just talked to Deb about that. Now you gave me a BlackBerry battery. There's another BlackBerry battery for Katie. That would be great.
I'm going to need a battery charger. Is that Phil?
Yeah, or a charger or some sort of something. Yeah.
I'm going to need to go to the mall and buy a charger.
We're hearing that other buildings, the Parliament itself being in lockdown, other buildings are also being evacuated within this perimeter that's been cordoned off by the police in Canada as the hunt for the suspect continues.
Yeah, so I just wonder if those guys are off. So Scott, there is no... So I'm wondering where in that...
On social media, there are obviously many different accounts coming out, none of which I can confirm at present.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay, bye. No, he said he's going to talk about that.
They're hearing reports that the shooter could be on a building, the rooftop of a building. Just 1 block away from Parliament Hill, it appears.
I am. I'm staying latched in.
This is reports coming in saying that police are saying that the shooter is at the top of a building just 1 block away from Parliament.
I spoke with a woman who was on a tour inside the library. Does that work for you?
Yes, anything
right.
works. Anything.
She was...
Police have obviously cordoned off at least 2 blocks as the suspect in the shooting incident in Canada remains at large.
They were waiting outside the library. They went into the library, and then bam, 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 heard multiple shots. Didn't see the shooter, but she said it took a minute to count.
Are we able to feed that disc?
It's on Gateway now.
Oh, it's on Gateway.
Guns, Robin? No.
In recent days, Canada has had another incident where a man rammed 2 soldiers with his car, killing one of them. A car chase ensued, and that suspect was shot and killed by police. The Prime Minister said that that man had been known to security service and had been radicalized. Earlier on today, Canada raised its terrorism threat level to medium from low because of a rise of what it said was general chatter from radical groups, such as ISIL and Al-Qaeda. This is according to a government official. If you're just joining us, we're bringing you images live from Canada, where a police chase is underway for a shooter who remains at large. A Canadian soldier was shot at the War Memorial in Ottawa before fleeing towards the Parliament buildings and firing further shots. We're hearing reports that the shooter could be at the top of a building just 1 block away from Parliament. The police themselves have cordoned off at least 2 blocks from Parliament, which is actually in lockdown. The Prime Minister has been evacuated to safety from the Parliament.
Yeah, no, I know.
So there's obviously a very tense situation right now in Canada, where the police are hunting for a shooter in the case where a Canadian soldier was shot this morning at the Ottawa War Memorial. Eyewitnesses report that after the multiple shots that were fired at the War Memorial, the shooter fled to the nearby Parliament buildings, where more shots were heard. Up to 50 were fired, according to eyewitnesses. reporters on the scene are saying that the police are looking towards this building that's just 1 block from the Parliament, where they believe a shooter to be on the roof, telling people to get to safety. They're hearing that within a 2-block radius, all of the buildings have been in lockdown, so people are told not to leave their buildings for their own safety.
So I got some news from friends. There's one confirmed suspect down and one that has been hit but isn't down yet. So I guess I heard there was 3 of them, so I guess there's 1 to go.
There are also reports that more shots were fired near the Parliament buildings.
SWAT team arrived, and they probably have snipers up at the...
Probably.
After the initial incident at the War Memorial and inside the Parliament building, the chase ensued. There were tactical teams converging on the area. Multiple shots were fired inside the centre block of the Parliament. Up to 30 inside the building. People are saying up to 50 in total, where eyewitnesses are reporting that a man was holding a rifle.
Feels like a war zone.
The initial shooting at the War Memorial itself, 1 soldier was wounded and taken away by ambulance. It appears more ambulances have arrived at the centre block of Parliament in downtown Ottawa.
Yeah.
Except it's live now.
And local media are reporting that an armoured vehicle has now arrived on Parliament Hill. You can see now that there's a frenzy of activity happening. This is very tense police hunt for the suspected shooter in Canada. There are reports that the suspect could be on the roof of a building about a block away from Parliament. People in the area are saying that the police have been moving them out of the way of this building, telling them to get to safety and out of the view of that roof. If you're just joining us, we're bringing you live images from Canada, where a suspect has shot a Canadian soldier, injuring him. He was taken away by ambulance. The suspect went towards the Parliament building nearby, where more shots were fired, according to eyewitnesses. Tactical team has converged on the area. The police have cordoned off at least 2 blocks from around the Parliament. The Parliament itself is on lockdown. We're hearing reports that the Prime Minister himself has been safely evacuated from the building. Other members of Parliament, it seems, are also being taken away from the building. There are reports coming out from different sources, from local media. Nothing can be confirmed, but people are saying that they have seen someone injured near the Parliament. There were reports of further gunfire after the initial rounds, the multiple rounds that were heard at the War Memorial itself and inside the Parliament building. There's obviously a lot of media on the scene. There's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of frenzied activity with the police hunting for this suspect.
We're just getting news in that one gunman has been shot dead inside the Canadian Parliament building. This is coming from the local Canadian media, that one gunman was shot dead inside the Canadian Parliament. There are also reports that a suspect was on the roof of a building 1 block away from Parliament, so this may be that there are multiple suspects in this shooting. The Ottawa police say that they are in fact dealing with multiple suspects, but they can't confirm whether they all are all armed, but they have confirmed that there are now multiple suspects in the shooting. This is a developing story. We will try our best to confirm all this information coming through. Canadian media is saying that one gunman has been shot dead inside the Canadian Parliament.
Well, I think they evacuated them all.
The Parliament itself is on lockdown. We had images earlier of the Parliament interior entirely empty. The Prime Minister himself has been evacuated to safety. Eyewitnesses were reporting a gunfight. Multiple shots, up to 50 shots, were fired inside the Parliament building. Later on, there were reports that further shots have been fired. The Ottawa police are dealing with multiple suspects. Reports have come out of one shooter being on a roof of a building just a block or so away from the Parliament. People in the area have been put on lockdown as well. All people have been told to remain inside buildings for their own safety. There are also police reports that one of the suspects could be firing from the Parliament roof itself. There is a search inside the Parliament building itself for the shooters. There's also reports from local Canadian media saying that one gunman was shot dead inside the Parliament.
Okay.
Okay, just what?
Ready?
Take your battery.
The security officials have told anyone in the area to stay away from windows, away from the roof of the centre of Ottawa. There's an area that has been cordoned off. There are buildings in lockdown. The Parliament itself is in lockdown as the police search for these multiple suspects in this gunfight. As you can see from these images coming live from Canada, there is a frenzy of activity. Tactical teams are on the ground around the Parliament building in Ottawa, where earlier on, at least one suspect shot a soldier at the War Memorial before fleeing towards the Parliament building. The police have confirmed there are now multiple suspects. The local Canadian media are saying that one gunman has been shot dead inside the Parliament building. We're also hearing reports that on a roof of another building, another suspect could be at large. The police have yet to confirm whether all suspects are armed, but they have confirmed there are multiple suspects.
Yeah, thanks. I'm just trying to send a note.
According to the police, one man is in custody. They haven't confirmed whether he's been arrested. We don't know exactly if this is one of the multiple suspects. But we're hearing more reports that one gunman has been shot dead. situation is incredibly tense at this point. The police have confirmed there are multiple suspects, but we don't know whether they have weapons. One soldier has already been injured earlier on at the War Memorial in Ottawa. Tactical teams have been joined by a helicopter which is hovering over the Parliament. At least 2 blocks around the Parliament itself have been cordoned off. People have been told to stay away from windows, stay inside buildings to remain safe, as suspects do remain at large. It appears the police are expanding the zone which has been cordoned off.
Well, I think they evacuated them all.
We're now going to bring you some images that are coming from Globe and Mail, the Ottawa newspaper, of what's happening in Canada right now. We'll bring you those images as soon as we can. Right now we're watching the police hunt unfold for the suspects in the shooting that occurred earlier on today. One gunman has been reported as dead. We're hearing reports of arrests. There are multiple suspects. The police haven't confirmed whether all suspects have guns. The situation remains tense.
Well, I think they evacuated them all.
If you're just joining us, we're live with a breaking news story in Canada where a soldier was shot at the Ottawa War Memorial. After this, a chase ensued. There were multiple shots fired inside the Parliament building. Apparently, one gunman has been shot dead. There are multiple suspects. We're not sure whether these suspects are armed. The police have yet to confirm this. The police are expanding the area which is in lockdown. They've cordoned off many streets, at least 2 blocks.
I think they evacuated them all.
The Parliament was put into lockdown and tactical teams converged on the area. The Prime Minister himself has been safely evacuated from Parliament Hill. So we're now going to bring you some images from the Globe and Mail. These come from inside the Parliament building. The video from the Globe and Mail shows the incident as it unfolded inside the Parliament building, where suspects fled after shooting a Canadian soldier at the Ottawa War Memorial. The Parliament was in lockdown. You can see that moment again as the shots echo throughout the hall. So what you're seeing are images from Canada, from the Globe and Mail, inside the Parliament, the moment when police are hunting down the suspects involved in the shooting of a Canadian soldier at the Ottawa War Memorial nearby. The chase is ongoing for multiple suspects. We're hearing that one gunman has been shot dead inside the Parliament building. Parliament was in lockdown. The Prime Minister himself was evacuated to safety. And now there's been a perimeter of about 2 blocks outside the Parliament has been cordoned off as multiple suspects remain at large. The police have yet to confirm whether these suspects are armed or not. The advice they're giving to anyone in the area is to remain away from windows and inside their buildings. See again the incident as it unfolded. Again, we've received these images from the Globe and Mail of the interior of the Parliament during the police chase for the suspects who opened fire on a soldier outside the Parliament building nearby at the War Memorial in Ottawa. So you can see for yourselves the frenzied activity of the police who are hunting down the suspect inside the Parliament building. We're hearing that one gunman was shot dead inside the Parliament building, which is in lockdown. It was a huge gunfight. Witnesses reported hearing at least 50 gunshots. I think this video very much confirmed that it was a huge gunfight inside the Parliament in pursuit of the suspects in the shooting outside of Parliament, nearby at the Ottawa War Memorial, where a soldier was injured. We had to hear anything about his condition. We know he was taken away by an ambulance. Other ambulances came to the scene and a tactical team is on site. There were also reports of firing happening outside the Parliament building. Reports also of another shooter being on a roof. People are being told to stay away from windows around the building where the shooter is suspected of being. Schools in the area have been told to keep their doors locked and students in classroom. This is the advice of the Ottawa Police to anyone in that area. Also heard reports that armoured vehicles have taken positions as well. This is obviously a huge operation to find these suspects. Earlier on in the day, Canada raised its terrorism threat level from medium to low. Sorry, from medium to medium from low. Excuse me. This was a result of what they called general chatter from radical groups, such as ISIL and Al-Qaeda, and this was according to a government official. They reiterated it wasn't a result of a specific threat. You can see that yellow ribbon there marking out the area that police have cordoned off around 2 blocks from the Parliament as the police continue to hunt down suspects in this shooting incident in Canada. This is breaking news. We're bringing you images live from Canada, and we will keep you updated on the story as it develops.
Apparently there's even some building in Montreal that are in lockdown right now.
Wow. Where are you?
So just to reiterate, if you're just joining us, what we know is a Canadian soldier was shot earlier on outside the War Memorial nearby to the Parliament. A gunfight ensued inside the Parliament. We showed you images earlier of this. Up to 50 bullets were fired, according to eyewitnesses. It was, in fact, a very large gunfight. There were reports of further shots being fired outside the Parliament. There are multiple suspects the police have confirmed, but they cannot confirm whether all suspects are armed. One gunman has been shot down inside the Parliament. The Parliament was put on lockdown, with suspects still at large. The Prime Minister was safely evacuated from the building. As you can see, there are around the Parliament Hill remains cordoned off. The police are on high alert, and the situation remains tense.
Got that time?
There are tactical teams on the ground joining the police, and there are reports also of armed vehicles being used.
CJOH.
Well, and Kevin, we arrived.
Reporters on the ground are saying that they're being pushed back from their positions.
Police were first.
This cordoned-off zone is obviously growing as the hunt for the multiple suspects continues in this shooting in Canada.
It was just before around 10 o'clock this morning when witnesses tell me they heard they heard a shot. They didn't know what was happening.
Reporters are saying that our police crouched behind cars.
And that's when
This is a very tense situation. Suspects remain at large, but the police have said they cannot confirm whether they're armed or not.
To the tomb of the unknown soldier, and that's exactly where this soldier was laying on the ground right beside that tomb, and they were performing CPR.
The Globe and Mail, who provided these images earlier, you can see on the right of your screen, of the shooting inside the Parliament, is saying that a second shooter has been killed. So that was reports of a second shooter being killed inside the Parliament. You can see the images from the Globe and Mail, who are reporting that a second gunman has been killed by police inside the Parliament. Earlier on, we heard that one gunman had been shot by police. You can see the Parliament itself completely empty in the hallway. It was put on lockdown. People were beginning to be evacuated to safety. The Prime Minister was evacuated to safety. Has left Parliament Hill. We're hearing reports that the police have cordoned off at least 2 blocks. We're hearing reports that they're pushing those blocks out further, widening the area, the search area, for the multiple suspects who remain at large. The images we're bringing you to now are the evacuation of the building. You can see that the situation remains extremely tense in the hunt for the remaining suspects in the shooting in Canada. The Globe and Mail are reporting that a second gunman was killed by police inside the Parliament. We had images from the Globe and Mail earlier of a massive shootout inside the Parliament building. You can see them on the left-hand side of the screen there in the hallway. A massive operation is underway to find the remaining suspects. You can see these images from earlier where we believe 2 suspects have been killed inside the Parliament building. So those images on the left from the Globe and Mail, who are reporting that a second gunman has been shot dead inside the Parliament. This is a developing story, so the information is changing all the time. Stay with us. We'll keep you updated with any new developments. We're hearing reports now from eyewitnesses who describe the gunman who fired the shots at the War Memorial earlier, which injured a Canadian soldier. They described the shooter as a small guy with long black hair and with a long rifle. If you're just joining us, to recap, a Canadian soldier was shot outside the Ottawa War Memorial, nearby the Parliament. A gunfight ensued inside the Parliament. We have images on the left of your screen from the Globe and Mail showing the moment of a massive gunfight inside the Parliament. They're also reporting that 2 gunmen have been shot dead inside the Parliament. The police have confirmed that there are multiple suspects. And the area around the Parliament appears to be in lockdown. People have been told to stay inside buildings, stay away from windows, as the police cannot confirm whether the remaining suspects are armed.
Medical technician.
Oh, good. Okay.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
I'm not up to date anymore.
So we're hearing reports from Reuters news agency that 1 suspected gunman was shot and killed inside the Canadian Parliament. We're getting this from CBC TV. And the Ottawa police are saying that they're looking for 1 or more suspects.
I admire what they're able to do, especially, they sent it out in the field with basically nothing, and they have to find a place.
This is a breaking news story, so the events are developing as we report. We will keep you up to date with as much information as we can confirm. Obviously, we have multiple different sources saying conflicting things. So at the moment, we're hearing 1 gunman was shot down inside the Parliament building. Other reports saying a second gunman was also shot inside the Parliament building. This is coming from the Globe and Mail.
Start off with the button. Okay, go for it, buddy. We can. You just said you were. No, we're not. We're not ever. Oh.
Should I be hearing them? You're not hearing them, right?
Oh, yeah.
They're running again. They're running again.
And you can see these images coming live from Canada. There are evacuations happening in different buildings in the area around the Parliament building. People had been told to stay inside their buildings. Schools have been told to lock their doors, keep students inside classrooms, as the police are looking for multiple suspects who may or may not be armed.
Keep power down. Okay, go ahead. Yep, go ahead, Scott.
Do you have enough?
They're getting popular again. I need someone to be
If you're joining us, we're bringing you breaking news from Canada, where a soldier was shot at the Ottawa War Memorial and fled to the nearby Parliament building. We have images from inside the Parliament building, the moment when the police had a huge gunfight inside the building. They came from the Globe and Mail. We're bringing you images coming live from this hunt for more suspects. Police have said they're looking for one or more. They can't say how many. They also don't confirm whether they are armed or not. We're also hearing conflicting reports whether one or two gunmen were shot dead inside the Parliament building during this gunfight that you can see on the left-hand side of your screen. We're also hearing that Canadian bases across the country are being closed to the public after the shooting of the soldier this morning in Ottawa. It comes just days after two soldiers were rammed down by a man driving a car. One of them was killed in this incident. The suspect was then later shot and killed by the police. We're hearing reports that there were shots fired earlier at the Chateau Laurier Hotel near Parliament Hill, and paramedics were seen carrying a stretcher into the hotel. Different sources are reporting gunfire in and around the Parliament building at different points. The police are still looking for one or more suspects who may or may not be armed. So the situation remains tense. You can see the yellow ribbon there. They've cordoned off various areas for people's safety. They're beginning to evacuate buildings in the blocks around Parliament Hill. The Prime Minister himself was earlier evacuated to safety from the Parliament, where a huge gunfight took place. And there are reports that one or maybe possibly two gunmen were shot dead inside the Parliament building.
Hey, how are you? Not bad. For noon, I understand you.
You can change one at a time, so...
Okay. You want me to swap?
So we're bringing you images live from Canada. The police hunt for multiple suspects in a shooting that took place earlier at the Ottawa War Memorial, and one Canadian soldier was injured, was taken away in an ambulance.
Yeah. maybe try and get the other one.
From the local media, we're hearing that there is still an active shooter. So this would confirm the reports that there are shots being fired in several locations around the Parliament, in the vicinity of the Parliament. There's a shooting reported at the Rideau Centre shopping mall, according to Ottawa police. There appear to be 3 separate shooting sites, multiple gunmen, and maybe 2 gunmen shot dead, but we're hearing 1 as well inside the Parliament.
Tea would be better. Coffee will make you pee.
We're also hearing that the Canadian military has closed its bases across the country to the public following this shooting of a soldier in Ottawa.
You're sending the team inside?
They're looking at all the buildings.
It comes just 2 days after 1 soldier was killed and another was wounded after a man ran them down with his car before being shot down and killed by police. The Prime Minister said that this suspect had been known to security service and had been radicalized. We have new information coming in. The Ottawa police have said there are 3 separate shooting incidents, 1 inside Parliament, 1 at the War Memorial and 1 at the Rideau Centre. This is coming from the Ottawa police.
Running up about here.
In the area around the Parliament, the police have cordoned off blocks to keep people safe as they search for these multiple shooters.
These look like the serious guys.
There were reports of shots fired earlier at the Chateau Laurier Hotel, which is near Parliament Hill. Paramedics were seen carrying a stretcher into the building. So the Ottawa police have said that there are 3 separate shooting incidents, 1 inside Parliament, 1 at the War Memorial and 1 at Rideau Centre, which is a 3-level shopping centre.
You
can see here the police escorting people out of a building to safety. As the situation remains tense with multiple suspects still at large in this shooting incident in Canada.
They're putting people into the armored car.
Oh, okay.
There's still an active shooter. There's 3 separate shooting sites, multiple gunmen. And we're hearing reports of 1, maybe 2 gunmen shot dead in the Parliament. One of those shootings appears to be at the Rideau Centre, which is a shopping mall in downtown Ottawa.
So I guess they were just sort of covering them, but they seem to be...
This is a developing story, so we're bringing you news as it happens.
I think they're just doing this one building at a time.
Yeah.
The Canadian military has closed its bases across the country to the public following this shooting incident earlier today, where a soldier was shot and injured. He was taken away by ambulance. We're waiting to hear news of his condition. What you're seeing is the ongoing operation to evacuate buildings in Canada after the shooting incident earlier today. Area around Parliament was put into lockdown. The areas around Parliament have been cordoned off. People have been told to stay inside buildings to stay safe, stay away from windows. The tactical units are in the area and are securing the different buildings, evacuating people to safety as multiple shooters remain at large. On the left of your screen, you can see images from the Globe and Mail earlier of the incident inside Parliament, where a huge gunfight happened. The Ottawa police have said that one suspect was shot. And you can see here buildings being evacuated, people being taken to safety in the areas that have been cordoned off. I'm hearing reports from local media that armed police are going door to door in search of a suspect in downtown Ottawa, which is in lockdown. We're hearing reports that one suspect has been killed inside the Parliament. That's according to the police. The Ottawa police have talked of 3 separate shooting incidents, one inside Parliament, one at the War Memorial, and one at the Rideau Centre. The Rideau Centre is a shopping mall in downtown Ottawa.
I guess there's a lot of people in that building.
There were also reports of shots fired earlier at the Chateau Laurier Hotel, which is near Parliament Hill. Paramedics were seen carrying a stretcher into the building. If you're just joining us, we're bringing you live pictures from Canada, where earlier on a soldier was shot outside the Ottawa War Memorial. He fled to the nearby Parliament. There were multiple suspects. The Ottawan police have confirmed multiple suspects in the shooting. One has been shot dead inside the Parliament. There were 3 separate shooting incidents, one at the Parliament, one at the War Memorial, and one at the Rideau Centre, which is a shopping mall in downtown Ottawa. The Parliament was in lockdown. People are being evacuated from buildings. At least 2 blocks from the Parliament have been cordoned off. There is no one on those streets apart from the police. And as you can see here, the people being evacuated from the building by tactical units in the area. There are also armoured cars escorting people out to safety. So just to reiterate, there are suspects that are still believed to be on the loose. And we're hearing from one Canadian member of Parliament, John Mackay, who was in the building at the time. He says, "I hear this pop, 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 possibly 10 shots. I don't really know. Thought it was dynamite or construction rather than anything else." This was the moment when the gunfight happened inside the Parliament building. So John Mackay goes on to describe, suddenly the security guards come rushing down the hallways, usher us all out to the back of the Parliament buildings. So reports are beginning to emerge from the people who are inside Parliament at the time of the shooting, where one suspect is believed to be killed in that massive gunfight which we showed you earlier from the Globe and Mail. Eyewitnesses have reported seeing a man with a long rifle as one of the suspects in this week. I can't confirm whether this is the suspect that was shot dead. It's a developing story, so the facts are changing all the time. We're hearing from the police that there are 3 separate shooting incidents, one at the War Memorial, where the soldier was injured, one in the Parliament, and one at Rideau Centre, which is a shopping mall in downtown Ottawa. There were also reports of firing at the Chateau Laurier Hotel, which is on Rideau Street, just opposite the shopping centre. So all these locations are very close, within about a half a kilometre of each other. And downtown Ottawa is in lockdown. People are inside their buildings. People have been told to stay away from windows before they can be evacuated to safety.
Is there a small
The situation remains tense.
gray bag? I've got some batteries in it. Okay, it might be in front of the plants there. Okay.
I don't see any bags.
So you're seeing people are staying inside their buildings. The media themselves are inside their buildings, staying safe, as multiple suspects remain at large in the shooting incident in Canada. The Canadian military have closed their bases to the public all across the country in light of the incident of a soldier being shot at the War Memorial in Ottawa. We're staying live with this breaking news in Canada as the story is developing by the minute.
I don't know.
Or an incident earlier, you can see on the right-hand side of your screen, inside the Parliament building, where a huge gunfight between police and a shooter occurred. We're hearing that one gunman is dead inside the Parliament building. The advice from security services in Ottawa is to stay, the citizens are advised to stay off rooftops and away from windows in the downtown core. Hearing also reports that more police are being called to the Rideau Centre, which is one of the areas where one of the 3 reported shooting incidents is happening. They appear to be concentrating the resources around here as well. The Rideau Centre is a shopping mall, or a 3-level shopping mall in downtown Ottawa. The police say they're hunting multiple suspects.
Well, I think they evacuated them all.
So we're hearing reports that there is gunfire around the Rideau Street, the Rideau Centre, and also earlier on there were reports of gunshots at the Fairmont Chateau Laurier, which is just opposite the shopping centre. The police have cordoned off areas in downtown Ottawa to ensure the safety of the public. They're asking people to stay off rooftops, away from windows, and they've begun evacuating certain buildings in the area to get people to safety as multiple suspects remain on the loose following this shooting incident at the War Memorial and at the Parliament earlier today.
In here? I don't know.
Well, I just wondered where the girls went to.
The Canadian military, as a response to a soldier being wounded at the War Memorial earlier, has closed its bases across the country to the public. One suspect was shot and killed inside Canada's Parliament buildings after the soldier was shot. The soldier was taken away in an ambulance. We're waiting to hear an update on his condition. As you can see from the live images coming from Canada, there is a huge police presence in downtown Ottawa as they try to secure the area with multiple suspects on the loose after the shooting incident where one Canadian soldier was injured. There are reports that there is a frenzy of activity around Rideau Street at the Rideau Centre, which is a shopping mall in downtown Ottawa. There's reports of gunfire in that area. The Ottawan police themselves has said that there are 3 separate shooting incidents, noting the 2 earlier on at the Parliament and at the War Memorial. They also confirmed the shooting incident at Rideau Centre.
Coming back on the left.
Oh, okay.
We're bringing you the images live from Canada on the left-hand side of your screen. Downtown Ottawa is in lockdown. The police are searching for multiple shooters after an incident at the War Memorial where a soldier was shot. And you can see on the right-hand side of your screen images earlier from a gunfight inside the nearby Parliament, where one suspect was shot dead, according to Ottawan police. The police themselves have confirmed 3 separate shooting incidents at the Parliament, the War Memorial, and at Rideau Centre, a shopping mall in downtown Ottawa.
We'll try. Yeah,
There is a heavy police presence. Tactical teams are in the area, securing the buildings, making sure people are staying away from their windows, off rooftops, to keep them safe as they hunt for these remaining suspects.
So these live images coming from Canada, where earlier on a soldier was shot at the War Memorial, where a suspect then fled to the nearby Parliament building. A gunfight ensued. One suspect is confirmed dead. There are multiple suspects involved, the Ottawa police have confirmed. And downtown Ottawa is in lockdown. People are being kept inside buildings for their safety as the hunt continues. And you can see from these images the huge police presence. They're trying to keep everyone safe. The Parliament itself was in lockdown. People were evacuated. The Prime Minister himself was evacuated. We heard this earlier on from security officials. Reports are now centering around a separate incident within a kilometre of Parliament. On Rideau Street, we're hearing from the Chateau Laurier Hotel and the Rideau Centre, which is a shopping mall in downtown Ottawa. Gunfire has been heard in this area. We've heard of paramedics bringing in stretchers into the Chateau Laurier Hotel. There seems to be a frenzy of activity in this area in Canada as multiple suspects remain on the loose.
You want to give me an extra battery, or you're okay?
No, it should be, well, all the batteries are almost dead except the one under the Giro.
Okay, I think you might be coming out.
The Canadian military have closed their bases to the public after the incident of a soldier being injured. He was taken away by an ambulance. We're yet to hear any updates on his condition.
I think they're slowly.
You can see from the images we're getting from Canada that the area in the vicinity of the Parliament itself, there is a huge police presence. The area is in lockdown as they hunt for these suspects that remain on the run after the shooting earlier on at the War Memorial just next to the Parliament. One Canadian soldier was injured in the shooting. There was a gun battle inside the Parliament itself. The Parliament was in lockdown. The Prime Minister was evacuated. And the Ottawa police are saying that one suspect has been shot dead. The focus now is on the remaining suspects. And there seems to be a frenzy of activity around Rideau Street, around Rideau Centre, which is a shopping mall, and the Chateau Laurier Hotel, which is just opposite. So in total, the police are reporting 3 separate shooting incidents in downtown Ottawa. One at the Parliament, one at the War Memorial, and one at the Rideau Centre. The Ottawa police are tweeting for people to stay away from downtown Ottawa in light of the police hunt for the remaining suspects. We're hearing that the Director of Communications for the Prime Minister, Stephen Harper, says the Prime Minister is safe, and he's currently being briefed by security officials. And he will make a statement later today, according to the Director of Communications. So we can expect to hear from Prime Minister Stephen Harper later on today on the situation, the developing story
do we have any witnesses
in Canada after the shooting incident earlier on,
do you have any witnesses
where one soldier was injured. 3 separate shooting incidents have been confirmed by the police. There are multiple suspects. One suspect, the police say, has been shot dead. Downtown Ottawa is in lockdown. The police are saying, stay away from downtown. For those people who are in lockdown, they have been told to stay off the roof, to stay away from windows, to stay safe.
I can actually.
You guys ready to go for 5?
Okay. If you can see the bag somewhere.
You got
I left a little green bag, a black gray bag.
Okay, where is it?
It might be just in front of the flower.
How big is it?
It's small.
Okay, can I get you all stage right here? Come on in here, second door. Someone's gonna lock this one up? Yep. Check for your bag, sir. Didn't find your bag.
Okay.
No. You guys have 5?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not seeing the bags.
The situation is unfolding before our eyes here in Canada. We're bringing you live images from downtown Ottawa, where there's a police hunt underway for multiple suspects in a shooting incident where one soldier was injured at the War Memorial. There was a huge gunfight inside the Parliament building. The police are saying one suspect is dead. So just to recap, there have been 3 separate shooting incidents confirmed by the police. One at the Memorial, the soldier was injured. One at the Parliament, where there was the huge gun battle. And a separate one at the Rideau Centre, which is a shopping mall in downtown Ottawa. Areas have been cordoned off. The police are taking this very seriously. They've told everyone to stay away from windows, off rooftops in the area, which has been cordoned off, which is in lockdown.
Down this way.
And they're attempting to evacuate as many people as possible to safety. So these images are coming from the Rideau Centre themselves, which has been the place where the police are reporting gunfire, multiple shots in this area. So they're trying to get as many people out to safety as possible. These images are coming live from the Rideau Centre. People are being evacuated. It's one of the 3 locations that police have said shootings have happened. The police are searching for multiple suspects. One suspect, the police say, was killed in the Parliament.
Just follow the crowd of people.
These images are coming live from just outside the Rideau Centre in downtown Ottawa, where there have been reports of gunfire in the police hunt for multiple suspects in a shooting incident. And this is the Parliament, where you can see there is a huge police presence. Downtown Ottawa is in lockdown. So you can see here where there were 3 separate incidents reported by the police at the War Memorial, nearby the Parliament, which you can see, and at the Rideau Centre, as we just showed you in images coming directly from the Rideau Centre, where there were also shooting incidents reported. The security situation remains tense in downtown Ottawa, with one or several suspects still on the loose following this incident earlier on at the War Memorial, where a Canadian soldier was shot and injured. He was taken away in an ambulance, and the Parliament was put on lockdown.
So now we're with the crowd.
Yeah.
The Ottawan police are tweeting security updates saying they would like to remind the public that the current incident is ongoing and to contact the authorities with any information. They also have said to stay safe, to stay away from windows, stay away from roofs in the area under lockdown in downtown Ottawa.
Maybe Roger, you're okay for power? Yeah. We were on the Dejero, we were right up.
The Prime Minister himself was evacuated safely from the Parliament.
Check with them. We might plug it to you if you have.
And will make a statement later today. This comes from the spokesperson of the Prime Minister.
Cell phone's working. Half, one out of 20. I'm waiting for the phone, right? Because I didn't phone. I was going to phone CTV. We need to be power down for now.
The Dejero?
Yeah.
Get to wait?
I'm trying to call.
Are you getting anything out of that? Without the
They
sign?
said we were on air, yeah. Yeah, well,
This
see my picture.
incident is ongoing. We're bringing you the developments as they come. But it's worthwhile reminding viewers that just 2 days ago, there was a separate incident where a man ran over 2 soldiers in Montreal, killing one of them before being shot dead himself by police. The Prime Minister said that that suspect on Monday had been radicalized and was known to security officials. So obviously the situation in Canada remains very tense as the police is ongoing
Evacuate them all.
for the shooter or shooters in this incident earlier today in Ottawa. These images are coming from within the lockdown area. You can see the Parliament there, which was the site of frenzied activity. Earlier, you could see armoured vehicles surrounding the building. Tactical teams converged on the area after the first reports of gunfire at the War Memorial, which is nearby the Parliament. The Parliament was then put into lockdown, and a gun battle ensued. We had images earlier from the Globe and Mail inside the Parliament during that gun battle, and you could hear multiple rounds being fired. Eyewitnesses were reporting up to 50 rounds. So you can see the images coming from Canada, downtown Ottawa on lockdown as police hunt for one or more suspect in the shooting incident. The Canadian military has closed its bases across the country to the public following the incident of a soldier being shot and injured. We also brought you images earlier on of the Rideau Centre, people coming out, being evacuated from the Rideau Centre, which is the 3rd location of shooting confirmed by the police. First was the War Memorial, then the Parliament, the timeline, and then the Rideau Centre, where the police are hunting for suspects who remain at large. The Rideau Centre is a shopping mall on 3 different levels, so it's a large area to secure. The police are working on this at present. They've tweeted for people to stay out of downtown Ottawa. And for those inside the area in lockdown, remain inside your buildings, stay away from windows and the roof for your own safety. And looking at the locations of the 3 separate shooting areas, they're within about a kilometre of one another. The police have cordoned off at least 2 blocks, and they were expanding their search zone earlier on. So the hunt is very much focused in a small area in downtown Ottawa. We're hearing reports now that the Canadian Embassy in DC has locked its front door. So obviously the security situation has been taken very seriously by Canada. And the local news are reporting that Civic Hospital is confirming 2 victims are on their way to hospital now, 1 shot. But both are in non-life-threatening condition. The police earlier on confirmed that 1 suspect had been shot dead.
Well, I think they evacuated them all.
So we're bringing you the images from the different areas today where these shooting incidents happened. There were 3 areas, all within a very small vicinity. One being at the War Memorial, the second being at the Parliament, and the third at the Rideau Centre, where there appears to be ongoing activity. There are reports of gunfire at the Rideau Centre earlier. We're hearing from local media that people are arriving at the Civic Hospital. 1 victim shot. The injuries appear to be non-life-threatening. The Parliament was on lockdown earlier. The Prime Minister himself was evacuated to safety, and we will be hearing a statement from the Prime Minister on the shooting later on. So I can confirm that there are 3 locations where shootings occurred. All are within a few hundred meters of each other in downtown Ottawa. At the first site, a soldier was shot. That was at the War Memorial, and a gunman was chased into the Parliament. You can see that unfolding before your eyes right now. That was earlier on. If you look at the right-hand side of your screen, the shooting incident inside the Parliament building. And a suspect was shot and killed. Eyewitnesses report multiple rounds being fired, up to 50 gunshots. You can hear for yourselves from that recording from the Globe and Mail. The Canadian military has closed its bases to the public across the country following this incident. And after a soldier was shot at the War Memorial, he was injured. He was taken away by ambulance. We're hearing from local media that people are arriving at the Civic Hospital. 1 victim was shot, but there appear to be non-life-threatening injuries. So the focus now is on the Rideau Centre, where earlier on we brought you images from people being evacuated from this 3-story shopping mall in downtown Ottawa. The Prime Minister has cancelled his events in Toronto with Nobel Peace Prize winner Malala Yousafzai today in light of the shooting, and will make a statement later on, and we will bring that to you as it comes. With downtown Ottawa on lockdown, the police are issuing warnings to any people that the current incident is ongoing. If you have any information, to contact the local authorities. They also issued advice to stay away from windows, stay off rooftops, to stay inside buildings as they attempt to locate the suspect and to keep everyone safe. The Canadian military have closed their bases across the country to the public following the incident earlier on at the War Memorial in Ottawa, where a Canadian soldier was shot. The gunman fled to the nearby Parliament building, which was put on lockdown. And you can see on the right-hand side of the screen the incident when the gunfight unfurled. One suspect was shot and killed. The police have confirmed. So the latest news is that the Canadian Prime Minister has cancelled events in Toronto with Nobel Peace Prize winner Malala Yousafzai, which was scheduled for today, in order to give his full attention to the shooting incident. His director of communication said they're still gathering the facts and he will give a statement later. We will bring that to you as it comes. The Canadian Prime Minister Stephen Harper was due to give the Nobel Peace Prize winners Malala Yousafzai an honorary citizenship. That this has been cancelled in light of the horrific events in downtown Ottawa, where the police continue to hunt for remaining suspects in this shooting incident. The situation is unfolding within a few hundred meters of one another. That we have 3 reported shootings, one at the War Memorial, one at the Parliament, which you can see on your right-hand side of your screen earlier on, and at the Rideau Centre, which is a shopping mall. So obviously there are a lot of people involved in this. There's a huge police presence. The whole of downtown Ottawa is on lockdown, and the police are issuing the advice to stay inside the buildings if you're in downtown Ottawa, stay away from downtown Ottawa if you're planning on going there, and to give any information you have to the local authorities as the incident is ongoing. It's a developing story, so we're bringing you the facts as they come to us. And we will keep you updated. We will be bringing you that statement from the Prime Minister. So the focus is on this 2 blocks in the center of downtown Ottawa. The police are searching for the remaining suspects. Happens. So we're bringing you this developing story from Canada. If you're just joining us, it's breaking news. There was a shooting incident earlier on at the War Memorial in Ottawa, where a gunman then fled to the nearby Parliament. The Parliament was in lockdown. And you can see on the right-hand side of your screen the images from the Globe and Mail of a huge gunfight. One suspect was shot and killed, according to the Ottawan police. And the focus is on downtown Ottawa, which is in lockdown now. The Rideau Centre, which is a shopping mall, is focus of activities. There are reports of gunfire in that area. The latest news we can bring you is that the Prime Minister will be giving a statement later on the shooting incident. He's had to cancel events today in Toronto, where he was due to give Nobel Peace Prize winner Malala Yousafzai an honorary citizenship. His Director of Communications said that they are looking at the events as they're going on, gathering the facts, and the Prime Minister will be giving a statement later. If you're just joining us, we're live in Canada with breaking news after an incident earlier on today with a shooter at the War Memorial. A major terror alert is ongoing in the Canadian capital, Ottawa, with multiple suspects apparently on the loose in and around the Canadian Parliament. Let's focus on Rideau Centre, a shopping mall nearby. There are reports of up to 30 shots fired inside the Parliament. You can see the images on the right-hand side of your screen there. And a gunman was chased down by the police. He was apparently shot dead, according to the Ottawan police. The whole of downtown Ottawa is reported to be in lockdown. The Prime Minister himself was evacuated from the Parliament building and is due to give a statement on the incident later on. In light of the soldier being shot, the Canadian military has closed its bases across the country to the public. And we can hear now lots of gunfire happening in downtown Ottawa. Police are looking for one or several suspects following this shooting incident at the Parliament earlier on. These images you can see on the right-hand side of your screen, the police are evacuating buildings in downtown Ottawa as the capital remains in lockdown in the downtown area after various multiple shooting incidents, one earlier on at the War Memorial where a soldier was injured one inside the Parliament where one suspect is believed to be shot and killed by the police, and a third one at the Rideau Centre, which is a shopping mall in downtown Ottawa. So there is a frenzy of activity. The police are searching to secure the area, keep people safe, and find the remaining suspects. The Prime Minister himself was evacuated from the Parliament earlier and is expected to give a statement on the incident later on.
Probably move us.
My car's over there, Lou's car's over there. I can't get well, I think they evacuated.
Well, if you're just joining us on Euronews, these are live pictures from Ottawa, the Canadian capital, where, as you can see from the screen, a major terror alert is ongoing with a gunman or possibly gunmen now, according to the police, on the loose. It seems there have been shooting incidents in 3 different areas across what is the morning, of course, in Ottawa. First of all, a soldier was shot at the National War Memorial. It seems the gunman was chased into the Parliament. We have had dramatic footage of several shots being fired inside the Parliament building. A gunman is reported to have been killed, but the police now say they are looking for more than one suspect in the Parliament Hill shooting. And the police also say they're working on different scenes where the suspects are believed to be. You'll appreciate this is a developing story, so there is lots of information coming through that is, of course, unconfirmed, and there are lots of things we simply don't know about what has gone on or what is going on at the moment. We will do our best to try to separate what we know from what we don't know. The other shooting, the other reports of a shooting are at a shopping centre, the Rideau shopping mall in downtown Ottawa, and the whole of that area is on lockdown. In that area, it also includes the US Embassy, and there is obviously a major security operation going on there, but gunfire was reported and people were told to get off the streets and take cover. The map you can see shows the different areas where these incidents have been taking place. The first shooting at the National War Memorial, at least one gunman being chased into the Parliament building, several shots being fired. The gunman apparently killed, but the police saying they're looking for more than one suspect. So that seems to be very much an ongoing situation there. The Prime Minister, Stephen Harper, is safe. He was escorted away from the building and is due to make a statement very shortly. We are just getting a report that says it's official, to say that the soldier wounded earlier when he was shot near Parliament has died. We will try to bring you more on that as soon as possible, but it seems this was relating to the first shooting incident at the War Memorial, and we heard reports then that a soldier had been shot and was wounded and was taken to hospital. We now have at least one agency report quoting official sources as saying that the soldier has died. As you can read on the screen, a number of bases, all military bases around the country, have been closed to the public. This is obviously sparking a major security alert. Before Wednesday's events, before today's events, Canada had already raised its terrorism threat level following a deadly attack earlier this week on 2 soldiers in Quebec. That was the first fatal attack on Canadian soil linked to Islamist militants. A 25-year-old Muslim convert was shot and killed by police. He rammed his car into a vehicle carrying 2 soldiers. One was killed. And all this, of course, comes as Canada has joined the US-led campaign of airstrikes against ISIL in Iraq. 6 fighter jets have left to join that fight, but of course we cannot confirm at this stage that these events, certainly today's events, are linked to that. The police have confirmed these 3 separate shooting incidents in Ottawa: the Parliament building, the War Memorial, and a shopping centre. The pictures you see on the left are the video from the Globe and Mail from inside Parliament. Dramatic footage where at some stage you will hear shots ringing out amid obviously much confusion. Pictures from the Toronto Globe and Mail. MPs were told to take cover in their offices. There was a lot of confusion, and the police said at one stage they did not know whether there was one gunman or several gunmen. They now say they're looking for more than one suspect in the Parliament building. This video was taken earlier, but it is very much an ongoing situation at the Parliament in Ottawa. Well, that was footage from inside the Parliament. These are pictures from downtown Ottawa.
Folks, get against the wall. This side, this side. Keep moving this way.
People, as you can see, being told to get off the streets and take cover. The background to this is that there were reports of gunfire at the Rideau shopping centre. With the whole area pretty much on lockdown. Just to remind you again, this on the left is footage taken earlier, video provided by the Toronto Globe and Mail showing the shooting taking place inside the Parliament building in Ottawa earlier. Up to 30 shots fired as a gunman, or police say now gunmen, were on the loose. One gunman is reported to have been killed.
Well, I think they evacuated.
Well, we're now getting confirmation again, double confirmation if you like, it is correct. The soldier who was shot earlier at the War Memorial, the National War Memorial in Ottawa, has died. He had been shot and was taken to hospital. The incident, it seems, that sparked off this whole chain of major security operations in the Canadian capital, Ottawa. If you're just joining us on Euronews, a number of gunmen, more than one suspect according to the police, are still being hunted in the Canadian capital after at least 3 different shooting incidents. A soldier was shot and killed outside or at the National War Memorial. The gunman was reportedly chased inside the Parliament building. And you've seen video of shots being fired, up to 30 shots being fired inside Parliament. as the gunman was sought by police. They have since said they're looking for more than one suspect. At one stage, they did not know how many people were involved. MPs were told to take cover in their offices, and a number of people obviously have managed to leave the building. You saw some of them being escorted away just a few seconds ago. The Prime Minister, Stephen Harper, is due to make a statement. He was escorted briskly away from Parliament Hill. The gunman, one gunman, is reported to have been killed inside the Parliament buildings, but the police say they're looking for more than one suspect. A major security operation is also reported at a third location in Ottawa, around the Rideau shopping centre. Gunfire was reported. People across downtown were told to get off the streets and take cover. The Rideau Centre itself has tweeted that a shooting did not take place inside. The police didn't specify whether the incident was inside or outside the shopping centre. Elsewhere, the Canadian military have closed their bases to the public across the country. That's according to Canadian media. And against the background to this, of course, although we cannot definitively confirm that they are linked, Canada had raised its terrorism level following a deadly attack on 2 soldiers in Quebec on Monday. This video on the left comes courtesy of Toronto Globe and Mail, showing the events in Parliament a bit earlier. Well, it's just after 7 o'clock Central European time. If you're just joining us on Euronews, there is a major terror alert underway in the Canadian capital, Ottawa. The video you were seeing on the left was filmed inside the Parliament building, where, as you can hear, a number of shots, several shots, up to 30 shots were fired after a gunman was chased into the building, and the police there say they are looking for a number of suspects. This came after a Canadian soldier was gunned down at a war memorial nearby. He was taken to hospital, but it has been officially confirmed since that he has died. There are also reports of a third shooting at or near a shopping centre in downtown Ottawa. All these 3 sites are close to each other, within a mile of each other. The whole area, and especially Parliament, has been locked down. The Prime Minister, Stephen Harper, was escorted away from the building earlier and is now not on Parliament Hill. He is due to make a statement at some stage, according to his office. There have been conflicting reports as to how many gunmen are involved inside the Parliament buildings. Even the police at one stage said they did not know if it was suspect one or suspect plural. But since then they have said that they are looking for more than one suspect.
Well, I think they evacuated.
There were reports, MPs quoted as saying that a gunman at Parliament had been shot and killed. We do not have confirmation of that, whether that gunman has been shot, but this is still a major ongoing operation. Elsewhere beyond the Canadian capital, the military has closed its bases to the public across the country, according to Canadian media. Earlier this week, Canada raised its terrorism level following a deadly attack on 2 soldiers in Quebec. That happened on Monday. A convert to Islam, Martin Couture-Rouleau, rammed 2 Canadian soldiers with his car, killing one of them before he was shot and killed by police. That was the first fatal attack on Canadian soil linked to Islamist militants, and came as 6 fighter jets left to join the fight against ISIL extremists in Iraq. Earlier this month, Canada announced plans it was going to join the US-led campaign of airstrikes. But of course, we cannot make a definitive link between that and these events today around the Canadian Parliament and in the Canadian Parliament in downtown Ottawa.
My car's over there, Lou's car's over there. You can't get Well, I think they evacuated.
Well, Ottawa police have confirmed they're looking for multiple suspects as a result of these various shootings in the centre of Ottawa. Media and witnesses have reported that a gunman was shot and killed in the Parliament building, but it's difficult to confirm this. There is lockdown everywhere, and you can see these scenes of a major security operation underway in the Canadian capital. The map you are seeing here shows the 3 different locations where these shooting incidents have been reported. The first one at the National War Memorial, where a soldier in uniform was gunned down this morning. These photos show the aftermath as he was taken away to hospital. And we have since had official confirmation that he has died. There followed a major security operation in the streets elsewhere, and this video was released. It comes from the Toronto Globe and Mail, from inside the Parliament building, where at least 1 gunman caused havoc inside. And as you can hear now, several shots were fired. Well, if you're just joining us on Euronews, for the last few hours we have been dealing with this breaking and ongoing story from the Canadian capital, Ottawa, where a major terror alert is still underway after a number of shooting incidents, including in the heart of the Canadian Parliament. Ottawa police have confirmed they're looking for multiple suspects after the shootings at the Canadian War Memorial and near Parliament Hill. A Canadian soldier was shot at the National War Memorial in downtown Ottawa. That has been confirmed. It seems then the gunman was chased by police into the Parliament building. We don't know what the circumstances were there. Maybe it could be that he was one of several, or at that stage was alone. But there has been there have been a number of shots fired, which you may have seen because there's been dramatic video footage released from inside the Parliament building, where the police say they're looking for more than one suspect. Media and witnesses have reported that a gunman was shot dead in the Parliament, but the buildings remain locked down. There have also been reports of a shooting at or near a shopping centre, and the whole of downtown Ottawa is on lockdown. These are the three sites you can see on the map. The different locations are said to be fairly close to each other, all certainly within you can see they're within a kilometre of each other. But it has sparked a security alert beyond that immediate boundary. These photos show the War Memorial, where a soldier was shot at the start of this whole chain of events. He was taken to hospital, but it's now been officially confirmed that he has died. The Prime Minister, Stephen Harper, was escorted away from the Parliament building. He is due to make a statement. He was due to have a meeting with the Nobel Prize winner, Malala Yousafzai, but has cancelled that meeting. As far as the shooting is concerned at the shopping centre, the Rideau shopping centre has denied that a shooting took place inside the centre. The police didn't specify whether there were shots fired inside or outside the mall. The US Embassy in the area, it too is on lockdown, and the Canadian military has closed its bases to the public across the country. You'll appreciate, of course, if you're joining us, that hard information is difficult to come by at this stage. There is lots of information going around, especially on the internet, that is not confirmed. But it's obviously sparking a major security and terror alert across the Canadian capital.
With the doors locked until a member of the security services comes to unlock the door and let you out. And the security service individuals all have
the background to this. We cannot, of course, confirm that these events are connected, but on Monday, two Canadian soldiers had their car rammed by a man, a convert to Islam. One soldier was killed, and the man himself, the attacker, was then shot and killed by police. And this was the first fatal attack on Canadian soil linked to Islamist militants. Earlier this month, Canada announced plans to join the US-led campaign of airstrikes against ISIL in Iraq, and 6 fighter jets have left to join that fight. But it's too early, of course, to link definitively, of course, this sequence of events that are still ongoing in Ottawa now with the situation in Iraq. We have a new report quoting the Canadian Cabinet Minister Jason Kenney, who says the soldier shot at the Canadian War Memorial has died. That had already been confirmed. He also says a guard in the nearby Parliament buildings has been wounded. He is a senior minister in the Canadian government and adds that, as well as sending condolences to the family of the soldier killed and prayers for the parliamentary guard wounded, Canada will not be terrorized or intimidated, he says. These are pictures obviously showing the ongoing security situation in downtown Ottawa, with now no one left on the streets. People were told to get away from the area, to take cover, as indeed were MPs inside the Parliament building earlier. It's the middle of the day in Canada, and this ongoing drama has been going on now for the last few hours, since this morning. This video comes from inside the Parliament, comes from the Toronto Globe and Mail. Apologies if you've already seen it, of course, we are showing it many times. This is an ongoing, developing situation, and we are staying with this story. And this showed the scenes of havoc inside the Parliament earlier as a number of shots were fired. The map of central Ottawa shows the locations fairly close together. The first incident happened at the National War Memorial. A soldier was gunned down by a man who was then apparently chased into the Parliament buildings, where you've just seen video of the havoc that followed. Up to 30 shots being fired. This photo shows the aftermath of the events at the War Memorial, with the soldier being taken away to hospital. We've had official confirmation since then that he has died in hospital. There was also a major security operation. There is still a major security operation in downtown Ottawa, which effectively went into lockdown, with reports of a shooting at or near a shopping centre. At the Parliament building, the police have said they are looking for multiple suspects. Media and witnesses, local media and witnesses, have reported that a gunman was killed at the Parliament. But the security alert is obviously far from over at the Parliament and in downtown Ottawa.
It will probably move us.
My car's over there, Lou's car's over there. I can't get well, I think they evacuated.
The information, of course, is coming in dribs and drabs. We're getting unconfirmed reports, and some other reports are gradually being confirmed. We do not have official confirmation that a gunman was killed inside the Parliament, but that is what local media, Canadian media and witnesses have been saying at various stages. This is obviously a huge shock for people in Canada and beyond, but particularly in a country where, unlike the US, it had been spared this sort of attack or major security operation. The events of this week are being described in some quarters as a wake-up call for the country. And people are saying that, well, from now on, obviously, the security situation will be reviewed, and it's highly likely that things will change quite drastically in terms of security. Equally, the Canadians are proud of the fact that people can come and go freely in the Canadian capital with free access across downtown and including close to official buildings like the Canadian Parliament.
Well, I think they evacuated.
7:20 Central European Time. If you're joining us on Euronews, these are pictures from the Canadian capital, Ottawa, where for the last few hours now, this ongoing terror alerts and major security operation has been going on, following a number of reported shootings close to the center of the city, including at the Parliament building. Police have confirmed they're looking for multiple suspects. The sequence of events began when a Canadian soldier was shot at the National War Memorial. He was taken away to hospital, but it's since been confirmed that he has died. A gunman, possibly more, were chased into the Parliament building. Dramatic footage has been released where a volley of shots can very clearly be heard as people dive for cover. Here is that video provided by the Toronto Globe and Mail. The three locations on the map you can see show where the shooting incidents took place. The first one at the National War Memorial. A soldier was gunned down. He was taken away to hospital. We've since learned that he died. He has died. A gunman was chased into the Parliament building. There followed scenes of havoc, which you've just witnessed from courtesy of that video from the Toronto Globe and Mail, where up to 30 shots were fired. MPs were told to take cover. The politicians were evacuated as much as possible. The Prime Minister, Stephen Harper, who's due to make a statement, was taken away from Parliament Hill and is safe. Elsewhere in downtown Ottawa, a separate shooting was reported at or near a shopping centre. The Rideau shopping centre says that it did not happen inside the building, but we are getting reports that we've had reports that there was shooting at least nearby. The police did not specify whether it was inside or outside the shopping centre, but it clearly sparked a major security operation in the area of downtown Ottawa.
Serious. It will probably move us.
We have some more information. We have some more information courtesy of the Toronto Sun, quoting Veterans Affairs Minister Julian Fantino as saying he was in a meeting with the Prime Minister when the gunfire began. Now, as we said, the Prime Minister is safe. He was taken away from Parliament Hill. According to the Minister, a sergeant-at-arms took down a gunman. Canadian media and witnesses have said that a gunman was killed in Parliament, but we've not had confirmation of that from the government. Or from the police, indeed. But there have been several tweets, including from politicians, that a gunman in Parliament was shot and killed. But remember, police have said that they are looking for multiple gunmen, or at the very least more than one. You'll appreciate this is an ongoing situation. Parliament and indeed the whole of downtown Ottawa is in lockdown. Concrete information is hard to come by at this stage.
It will probably move us.
Cars over there, loose cars over there. Can't get well, I think they evacuated.
If you're just joining us on Euronews, you'll be seeing pictures of this live ongoing security operation in the Canadian capital, Ottawa. These pictures were filmed a little while earlier, showing people being evacuated, but the situation is still very much ongoing and confusing in terms of exactly what is going on. What we do know is that there seems to have been a number of